Hello and what is up YouTube? My name is G3Iron and I'm just getting ready for work today, putting my tie on and getting ready to start all of the amazing things that I get to do as a balding bearded man on a regular 8 to 5 basis. And while I was on my way into work, I saw that there is indeed a hotfix for all of the divine printing and map flipping that is going on. If you have been living under a rock for the last 24 hours, well, the new patch for Necropolis came out. It did indeed fix the league in so many ways. People are crafting and enjoying their crafting process, sort of, or maybe only enjoying the results of the new and updated Harvest 2.0 style crafting system that is Necropolis. But people are mostly enjoying this, making tons of divines per hour. There's tons of clips that are out from Twitch and from YouTube from players using this exact strategy. I'm just going to summarize it for you here because somebody summarized it really well right before the hotfix went live. So what you do is you spam open maps in your hideout for map conversion, divine conversion, and added divine chance. Every time you put a map into your map device in Necropolis League, it spawns different lantern options for affecting the packs that are in the particular map. Sometimes some of the things that have a chance to roll are increased chance for dropping divines or dropping chaos or dropping vault orbs, etc. So what players have been doing is using frogs on a 6% chance for divine drops, with rogue exiles on conversions, and then you use strongbox on your map device, as well as potentially setting up your atlas tree to include a whole bunch of Necropolis nodes and strongbox nodes. And then once you start with a decent amount of maps, they will sustain themselves if you run map conversion mod with the meat sacks, which you can purchase. Those are tradable coffins, I believe. And then don't have maps, don't worry about that. You just buy Cartographer's Delirium Orbs and you run it with the Breach Tree, or you can buy Scarabs. You can buy the, there's a whole slew of Scarabs that you can use this league that like duplicate maps or increase map drop chance. Yes, you will get divine drops 100% if you do this for an hour, and it is currently by far the best strat for currency until the market adjusts. We did it. We turned POE into an idle slot machine. Okay, now that was posted 7 hours ago as of the time that I'm reading and posting this video. However, there's a hotfix that has been posted. Here's what the hotfix says. Devoted modifiers, those are the modifiers that show up on your map device. Devoted modifiers that gave a chance to drop an additional divine orb, exalted orb, or orb of annulment, so the 3 highest currencies that it can drop, at least that we know of, now have values of 1, 2, or 3%, down from 3, 4, and 5%. These numerical changes will appear incorrectly on the Lantern UI temporarily after the patch. These modifiers, as well as the modifiers for dropped jewelry is converted to divine orbs, exalted orbs, and orbs of annulment, are now rarer, notably in white and yellow maps. That's right, folks. Folks were doing this just with their garbage white and yellow maps that they weren't ever going to run again because they're already in reds and sustaining. The number of monsters in the All-Flame Ember of Frogs and All-Flame Ember of Rats pack have been lowered. The reason why people were using rats and frogs is because typically if you had a pack that's on the devoted modifier on the map, maybe like 4 to 8 mobs, well, if you threw in frogs or rats prior to the hotfix, maybe you'd have between like 30 to 40 to maybe even 50 of the frogs or of the rats. So that would make the pack size much larger, therefore meaning the more stuff that you kill, the more chance that you're going to have something to drop. We have reduced the amount of the more common scarabs and now significantly increased the amount that rare and more interesting scarabs drop. There are a few exceptions to this where some of the more powerful scarabs have become rarer. Okay, so basically what happened was for 24 hours, I imagine this is going to be the drama discussion point of Necropolis, and this is probably what Necropolis is going to be well known for moving forward based off of, almost 10 years worth of covering Path of Exile. Like, this is probably what is going to be the linchpin of what people either hate or love about this league. A lot of you are going to hate that this hotfix came out. And let's be honest, a lot of you are going to hate this because you didn't get to take advantage and make a whole bunch of divines. Others are going to hate this because why the heck was this even enabled in the first place? Others are still going to love this because, by the way, divines didn't get deleted or removed. Divines just got reduced in terms of their rarity, in terms of their chance. So I guess you could say the rarity got increased. So their occurrence got reduced. And then their reward percentage got reduced. Well, based off of the clips that have been coming out over the last 24 hours and the experiences players have been having, if you could go into a map and drop 20 divines, and that's reduced, let's say, by a third, okay, now you're dropping like 6 to 7 divines. Oh, bummer. That's a real bummer, just to farm divines. Anyway, there's still lots of opportunity here. It's not going to be nearly as busted as what it was, but don't worry about that because as a community, I'm sure we'll find something else that's maybe not equally busted, but that's also busted, and then people will start doing that. This is on the level historically of like the changes that happened to the Guardian and to aura stacking during Delirium. I mean, this is just the entire league pivoted and everybody started running this strategy over the last 24 hours. Everybody that was streaming, everybody that was a content creator, and just seeing the divines just drop like crazy in Trade League. A lot of players are solved from this. Shout out to all of you in the comments down below if you're a solo self-found player, because then you just don't care about this sort of thing. But if you're playing Trade League, this absolutely has had an impact on the economy. And this, I think, is what Necropolis League is going to be known for, is the printing of divine orbs if you were able to sit in your hideout for the last 24 hours and just throw maps in until you hit it. By the way, shout out to those of you who have been flipping the maps, because not everybody is actually going to want to farm their own maps and set up their own atlases. There's multiple different atlases that you can set up now, so that's convenient. But not everybody is going to do that. A lot of players, if they're still printing divines, are just going to go to somebody and buy their favorite map in bulk. And so that's one of the ways that I've been making currency, is just go buy a favorite map, maybe a strand map, maybe other layouts that players really enjoy running, and simply buy those maps in bulk, sell them in bulk, because red maps, this is still going to be something that is potentially possible. And so as players are able to sustain or not sustain their own red map consumption for the silly players that are going to continue, for the wonderful returns that this still possibly could result in, there's still profit to be made even for smaller fish. This is what I posted yesterday, and I'll just remind you, if you're not a bigger fish taking advantage of these sorts of crazy busted mechanics, maybe you were at work, maybe you were on holiday, maybe you were traveling, maybe you were sick over the last 24 hours and you had no idea this was going on, there's still profit to be made in the economy. Not to the levels of what the biggest fish in the sea are making, but bigger fish eat smaller fish. So you can be a smaller fish and actually provide some level of service for those bigger fish and still make currency and still make profit off of it. Whether that's selling bulk scarabs, selling bulk delirium orbs, selling bulk maps. There's lots of things that you can still do in order to be a part of the economy as it changes. Remember, just because one person is making currency doesn't mean you're not making currency. You just need to get creative and figure out what are the supply chain blocks that are essentially in the way or inconveniences to other players, and then you can take on that inconvenience and reap a reward from it. Anyway, that's a little bit of an economics rant. We won't go further into that. I'd love to hear your comments down below, just how ridiculous this is on the scale of response and availability. I think in terms of ridiculousness, in terms of response, this is a really quick turnaround time, both for the patch to come out to save Necropolis, but then also for a hotfix to come out and maybe doubly save Necropolis. I don't know. There's already tens of thousands of additional divines in the economy, warping the entire economy. So it's going to be a very, very interesting league, especially economically moving forward. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I hope the 324 ongoing Necropolis League is the league a Mirror of Calandra drops for you, and then you don't have to worry about printing divines because you've got yourself a mirror.
Thanks for watching that video. If you'd like more information on any of our discussion points today, you can see them down below in the video description. If you'd also like to join our Discord or support our Patreon, you can do so with the links down below. Thanks again, and big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters.